Exactly 1 year ago today, the Nintendo Switch was released, and alongside it, Breath of the Wild. Both sold like hotcakes, and understandably so. I wanted to commemorate this special event by reviewing my favorite game of all time, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I know, I'm late to the party, but I believe to talk about a game in depth, you need to truly play it and take your time. This way, as a gamer, you appreciate it more. By the way, I have been completely addicted to this game over the last year or so. With all the yakking out of the way, let's review The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. First off, the story in this game was good, and it was fun to see how it progressed. The game starts off with Link awakening from a 100-year slumber. While in this time, Ganon takes over Hyrule. Of course, it's Link's job to save Hyrule and restore peace. As you progress in the game, you will run across memories in which Link recalls certain events. Although it's not required to get all of them, I highly recommend you do because it helps clear up some confusion with the story. It's weird to think about now, but a lot of the main characters like Zelda and the 4 champions weren't even alive the whole game, instead just their spirits. Nonetheless, the characters that are in the game do have a good amount of personality. The main goal is to fight the 4 different types of Calamity Ganons. The main thing that sets Breath of the Wild apart from every Zelda game is instead of the temples, you have divine beasts. Each champion was assigned to pilot a divine beast. However, 100 years ago, the fight was lost and all 4 champions died. As you fight your way through these divine beasts, there will be puzzles that aren't hard but aren't easy. The puzzles make you think rather than holding your hand or making it too hardcore to enjoy. As you finish the main puzzle of that certain divine beast, you then will battle that specific Calamity Ganon. Based on what version of Ganon you beat, you'll also unlock a special ability. This makes the game easier, but you can turn them off and play the game regularly. You mainly navigate either by foot, horseback, or the Master Cycle Zero if you purchase the DLC. You will be solely basing your sense of navigation by going to towers and climbing them. After doing that, the Sheikah Slate registers the information onto your map. Some towers are easy to climb, while others might require better use of the stamina wheel or might be surrounded by enemies. As I previously mentioned with Breath of the Wild, it isn't a traditional Zelda game at all. I really like the aspect of a Zelda game being an open world adventure. It fits the series perfectly. The game is definitely realistic. I mean, heck, you shoot animals for food and then you can cook it. This game even has weather change, and except for the lightning, it was a cool addition. Another major change is the inclusion of various weapons. These weapons are breakable, so you need to manage your weapon inventory and make sure you don't run out. While we're talking about breaking tradition, I might as well mention the runes. There are 7 different runes. All serve a different purpose except for the bombs, they're just different in shape. And thank goodness there isn't a limit on bombs. These runes are also able to be upgraded. For example, the Stasis Plus rune freezes objects as well as enemies. The main gimmick of this game is the runes because you use them often in shrines and divine beasts. The game introduces new enemies known as guardians. I remember if I saw a guardian at the beginning of the game, I would run away as fast as I could. However, now I find them especially fun because if you time it right, you're able to shield parry, which deflects the guardian's shot back at it. However, if you shield parry too early, you take damage, and if you shield parry too late, it breaks your shield. Obviously, this is a balance act. While we're at the topic, we might as well mention the enemies' redesigns. The enemies are well detailed and have been improved greatly. The Lionel especially has a ton of detail. As you progress further into the game, you will notice there are stronger versions of enemies. As an example, instead of a simple red bokoblin, you might encounter a more difficult blue, black, or silver, which is the strongest. With Breath of the Wild, the enemies are actually aware of the surroundings. If you are nearby the enemies, they will alert the nearby enemies, and then they will start attacking you. This makes you think what is the best way to strategize without them knowing where you are. As you explore throughout this game, you will notice the amount of detail that was put into every little thing. If you want something to back that up, go to Satori Mountain. This is definitely the most graphically impressive Nintendo game I've played. While we're talking about the scenic aspect of Breath of the Wild, I might as well mention the Blood Moons. Blood Moons are certain times in Breath of the Wild when the enemies respawn. If you've played Breath of the Wild, you know that the Blood Moons make some areas just look so beautiful, and you can't help but taking a screenshot. Let's talk about Korok Seeds. Was it really necessary to put all 900 of them in Breath of the Wild? Unfortunately, I collected all 900, so I have no life. Seriously though, they were fun to collect. You basically find quark seeds throughout, but most involve little puzzles. That's why if you want to 100% this game, there is so much to do, which I believe is a good thing. This game also allows you to customize what Link is wearing, which I don't find to be a big deal, but it's a cool aspect of the game. Some places like Gerudo Town require you to buy certain clothes so you have access. Another example is Hebra Mountains. Without the snow coil outfit, you would die of hypothermia. You can also upgrade your armor. Doing this, you simply go to a Great Fairy and give the Great Fairy the materials needed to upgrade that piece of equipment. Keep in mind that not all armor sets are able to be upgraded. Some Great Fairies even require star fragments. Mainly the ones that require star fragment are the amiibo ones. I've talked positive about this game, however I have some minor gripes. The game has minor frame rate drops, however a commonly known frame rate drop area is Quark Forest. However, when I was trying to find footage for Quark Forest, I don't know if Nintendo patched it or what, but it seemed to be running pretty steady. As well as frame rate, climbing was straight up annoying. It's cool you can jump in the game and climb, it's just most of the time it's hard to tell if you're going to make it to the desired area. Obviously, as you fill up your stamina wheel, this isn't an issue. Also, it seems like it only rains when I'm climbing or want to climb. And when it rains in this game, you can't climb at all. At the end of the day, all of my complaints are very minuscule and I can set aside. This is by far the best game I've ever played. If you haven't, then what are you doing? Pick up this game, and I 99.9% promise you will find satisfaction out of it. Seeing as how this is a review, I give The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild a perfect 10 out of 10. I hope the next Zelda game is just as impressive as this one. Enjoyed this video? Subscribing would really help out the channel, and this has been Austin from the Nostalgic Duo, signing out.